Hello, welcome to Mindset to Results. Today, our guest is amazing Karen Rudolf. She is the owner of the company named Tranquil Solutions, and she's transformational empowering coach. And we will speak today about how to manage stress and prevent burnout. Hi, Karen.
Hi, hello, how are you?
Yeah, you're most welcome. I'm great, and I'm so happy to see you today on our podcast. Please share a little bit about you, why you do what you do, and then we will go and discuss the topic how to manage stress and prevent burnout.
Perfect. Well, it started back when I was nursing, and I was from the mindset that kids were to be seen, not heard. So my whole life it was like squelching that thought that I am worthy of creating something. And then I went into nursing, and the doctor sent me to a patient's room with a script. And he said, discharge this patient. And when I looked at the script, I said, you're masking the symptoms. And that I was like no longer on my watch. And then fast forward, my mother was on 19 medications as a result of her not feeling worthy and her not feeling enough. And I started looking at that deeper and going into studies, many studies like quantum physics, neuroscience, NLP, and so on and so forth, trying to figure out human nature and what will best serve them to get ourselves out of our own way, to manage ourselves. Once we're able to manage ourselves and put on our own oxygen mask, we're then able to support others in business, in life, in relationship, and such.
This is so important topic and skills to manage ourselves because uh, I can see now that there are so many people who just looking for outside solution. They are looking for medicine, for therapists, for psychiatrists to help them. And I believe that everyone can learn how to manage the stress, is how to prevent themselves to be in that situation when they need psychiatrist or external help.
Yeah.
So it is really very helpful if you share your discovery and maybe some tools, techniques, how people can manage their stress and prevent that situation when they need help from outside.
Right, absolutely. Most people were taught to look and point fingers at everybody else,
Mhm.
especially when we're in a victim mentality or life is happening to us rather than for us. We tend to point fingers and forget that three are coming back. And where can we be responsible for ourselves, becoming an advocate for ourselves first and foremost, and realizing that it's really not as difficult as we would think it would be, but because it's unknown to us and it's something that we haven't dealt with before, we tend to push it away and just continue creating the same pattern, the same habits, and getting the same results. So stress is a product of a result, right? So something happens, and instead of being proactive and being responsive, our normal way of being is to become um,
Reactive.
oh,
Yes.
thank you. The word was just there. It's like a tip of my tongue. Thank you. So when we're reactive, it amplifies the hormone levels, which also amplify the stress, and the cycle continues over and over again. So what we want to do first and foremost is create an awareness, right? The key to any change is awareness, because once you have the awareness, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, at least we know what we're dealing with. And sometimes that ugly, I mean, when I look at my own ugly, it's like, ooh, Karen, girl. But it's like I get to choose to change it or not still being a choice.
Yes. Because if we understand that we can change, when we know that our results are effects and we are the cause, it means that we can change results by changing that cause, changing what is going within us. Yes, and in many cases, outside situation is just results of what is going inside. Yes, and when people, I like how you said that if they have attitude that situations happen for them, not to them, if they have that attitude that this situation is happening for me to learn something, what is the lesson in this situation, what I can learn.
Absolutely.
Yes. And this is how taking responsibility, we can change something within us, and then we will see different situations. Because when people usually blame somebody else, or that this person wrong, or they see situation in bad, it means that they continue. Yes, they continue just the same patterns. So they will be different people, but situations will be the same. Yeah, because it is always reflection.
Exactly, exactly. So there are many things that we can do, right, to affirm ourselves and trust ourselves. And first off, it's really getting present to our stories, the stories we tell, or rather, let me reframe that, the stories we told ourselves up until now. Because who you were yesterday is not who you are today, or no, who you are choosing to become. It's a becomingness. So when we're looking at the becomingness, we're looking to shift our identity in the beingness of what we want and whom we want to be. So that goes for whether it's losing weight or gaining a better job perspective or being in a relationship. You know, if I tell myself I'm stupid, my brain is going to look for ways and means of identifying and acknowledging that, yeah, I am stupid. And it'll just keep going on and on and on. If I turn around and I say, I'm the kind of person who is, if I might not know something, but I will look it up, my brain is going to start looking for ways and means of getting a new step towards that new identity, that new knowledge. So we don't have to be stuck in the old rut. That old rut is usually something that happened, an experience that happened in childhood. And as a result of that, we made it mean whatever we made it mean. I had myself, that was from my experience. I had an experience when I was 5, and the teacher, I raised my hand and I told the teacher that I didn't have enough tiles to create my spelling words on the desk, and she started laughing and the whole class started laughing, and in that moment I made it mean I must be stupid because I didn't get the joke. And she came over to my side, she turned to the side, and I had to turn my whole little body over to the side wall to see April Fool's Day, and I had no relatedness because we didn't practice that at home, so I had no idea what it was, and I made it myself feel like I was stupid. Like, so in that moment, I declared I will never open my mouth again and become stupid or really feel stupid. So as a result of that, there's always a byproduct, cause and effect, right? So as a result of that, I started saying in class, I don't know, they'd pick on me. I don't know, pick someone else. I don't know whether I knew it or not. As a result of that, later in life, I became a people pleaser. I became a reformed people pleaser. You know? So there's always a cause and effect. But when you get to the root problem, the root cause of it, then we know how to shift that energy because it's all energy, right? And there's nothing wrong and there's nothing to be fixed, right? Because you're whole, complete, and perfect right here, right now. It's shifting what was into a different perspective of what you're becoming. And that's where the small little shifts start coming. So one of the tools that I've created a long time ago, I call it the butterfly technique, right? So if you think of a butterfly as a cocoon, it's the caterpillars munching along the leaves. It's it stops, right? And it all of a sudden it's like, what's happening to me? Something is occurring, right? And energetically, it's morphing into the chrysalis, which is inside the cocoon, right? So it's shifting its energy. So you're stopping, you're shifting, and then you're changing into your beautiful butterfly, right? So when you stop, change, and shift, and you take that pause, right? And you have to pause, right? All of a sudden you're oxygenating your brain with any situation, whether it's making a decision or whether or not you're about to find yourself reacting. Pause, take that deep breath. Your breath is free, and it's one of the best tools in your toolbox because you're oxygenating your brain and creating clarity to start thinking clearer, right? So as a result of that, I've been doing this work now for about 18 years. And about 15 years ago, I got a download and I kept saying, there's got to be an easier way. And of course, I was struggling. So it was a result of my struggles. I said, there's got to be an easier way where people can have a tangible tool that's going to support them and is affordable to every household, because not everybody can afford a coach, right? I mean, I'm not inexpensive. I'm not the most expensive coach out there, but I'm not inexpensive. And it's taken me years to put that value on all the education and all the things in my toolbox. And what I did was I created the Tranquil Solutions Clarity tool, which supports people in creating the clarity, more importantly, the stress, because remember, I come from a nursing background. So for me, it's about when you know yourself, you know how to shift it, and then you could get the clarity in health, relationships, wealth. All of that has been put in the back end of this tool. It's, preventing burnout is really what the whole ultimate goal is to prevent the burnout before you're hospitalized or disease steps in.
Mm-hmm. Yes, great. So, would you like to get some more information about this method which you developed and how people can use your techniques?
Yeah. So are you referring to the butterfly technique, or are you referring more to the clarity tool?
Yeah, about clarity tool. Yeah, butterfly technique. This is what you said that just
Yeah.
stop,
Yeah. So that's a
pause,
quick,
change energy, and look at other perspective, right? Perception to different situation, and not
right,
react but respond. Yes, and now you have
right.
speak about the clarity technique.
Yeah. So the clarity tool is a digital, it's a subscription. And it's like having Karen in your back pocket. It's on you can have it on your smartphone, you can have it on your pad, whatever device that is, or the computer, whatever that is. It's like having Karen in your back pocket. So if you have a decision to make and you're stressing over it, 9 times out of 10, you're in your head, right? That's the ego. Your head is the ego, and the ego is there to protect you, but it's not your end all be all, because your heart is really your center, your GPS center. And it brings you, it's a lot of the clarity tool, the Tranquil Solutions Clarity tool, was developed to bring you back into your heart space so you can get that inner wisdom. And then after that, get aligned action steps to move forward. There's a summary afterwards. It can go anywhere from 15 minutes on up. You could come back to it later on. So you're not stuck with like, I gotta, finish it right away, because our thought processes aren't geared towards a one and done, right? So no matter how you come back and no matter how you frame it, you'll always get a different perception, and you get to choose what's going to work for you.
Mhm. So how this application work? You speak to agent there, like
No,
with
no, no, no.
like it is very
So
popular now.
Uh, so my apology. Let me reframe that. So thank you. Great question. Because it was actually built behind the GPT wall.
Mhm.
So what I did was neuroscience, quantum physics, Jungian psychology, NLP, heart math. Oh God, I've done so much. There's a lot of spirituality in there. There's a lot of health and well-being concept. There's my sassy, classy, badassy framework, which is built into behind the scenes there, along with many other things. And if you put if you ask the question, chat GPT, you're going to get a linear answer. When you put it into mind, you're going to get more of an intuitive answer that's going to come from within you. I'm just here as your guide. You're not going to hear me per se, but you're going to hear my words and my thoughts coming towards you. So it's going to be more like having me speaking to you direct. The beautiful part that I feel about it is it's a safe space. No, whatever you type in there, you can be as vulnerable as you want. I'm not going to see it. Nobody's going to see it. And nobody's judging you because a lot of times when I work with clients one to one, they're pleasing me or they think they have to, step up for me because I might say, and no, there's no judgment whatsoever. So they're free to be as authentic as they want. The more authentic in general you are, the quicker you're going to get a deeper, better response in general in life, right? So took that into consideration as well. And it's geared towards triggering the subconscious mind to come up with your own answers. So what I do as a guide is I teach people to fish in essence. So it empowers them to empower themselves. I'm still here. So if they still need me for further coaching, I'm still here to guide them. I'm not going away. I've just created a affordable way of getting to 24/7. So, I'm not available. If somebody hires me as a coach, we usually meet once a week. They have email access to me and texting access, but to get like a deep root, and it's usually that access is for minutes, it's not hours and hours and hours where this can go on and on and on.
Yes, yes, a great, really tool. And I'm sure so many people can refer to it and use and see how it works.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
great. So, what if the person already experienced the burnout? Yes, like what is the symptoms? Or maybe people already in that stage and don't even realize that they experiencing burnout.
Right.
So, what are
So,
the symptoms and how people can come out of that?
oh yeah. So burnout will usually affect your body is always talking, right? And it will keep talking louder and louder until you listen. So usually it's going to be a physical sign. It could be exhaustion. It could be loss of hair. It could be loss of appetite, burnout. You have no energy to do anything. And often you'll just come home and like stare out into space because your brain is it's almost like your computer. Here's one. It's almost like your computer when when it's been running too long, it gets overheated, and then all of a sudden it shuts down. It's the same sort of context. Your body will automatically shut down. And to get up and going again, you'll get up and you're like, oh, another day. Oh, it's just so much energy to move forward. So you have to learn to nourish yourself. You've got to rest and relaxation, hydrate for sure. I'm a big fan of journaling and speaking affirmations out loud because I can say I'm a genius. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't like affirmations. I can say I'm a genius. My brain is not going to believe that because I don't have any actions or any information behind it. I can say I'm stupid. My brain's going to believe that one. But if I say I'm the kind of person who is expanding myself and becoming more and more knowledgeable each day, my brain can rock out with that and run with that one. So you really have to start reframing it and be gentle and compassionate with yourself because it took years usually to get to a point of burnout. But you also have to awareness. What are the triggers? What is causing the burnout? Are you overworked at work? Are you overtaxed at home? It could be a combination of both. Are you in a relationship that keeps stressing you out? Is it serving you? Is it, it could be a number of things. You're stressing out because of finances and you keep stressing and not doing anything about it, it's going to cause burnout. So there are so many different factors and so many different levels, and it's who are you going to choose to become? And I always say, take it in small bites. If you identify it and you say, let's say it's my finances, okay, what can you do to shift your finances just a little bit, right? what can I do today that's going to shift that just a little bit? Maybe it's not eating out. Maybe it's looking at something and saying, is this a need or a want? And then start saving. Even if it's, I used to have a friend that used to take a penny a day to the bank. He was from England, and I thought it was the coolest thing. He took a penny a day to the bank and he deposited it. Well, with interest, it compounds interest. The same thing with your body. If you start putting good nutrients into it and good rest into it, it's going to compound daily. If you're in a relationship and it's stressing you out, if you don't take care of you, it's going to, it will not compound daily. So when you start looking at it as weights and measures, it's like really, truly, what do you want at the end of the day? And how are you going to be responsible to start shifting the energy? A lot of people will turn to drugs. I'm not a huge fan of drugs personally. There's a time and place for everything, but my goal is to get people to, before they burn out, to start recognizing the signs and symptoms and choosing to change that.
Yes, and I think here also important to understand that if you are not healthy, right? If you don't take care of yourself, of your health, nothing else matter. Yeah, because
No,
you can have big goals and you can think that you have agreement for 5,000 years. Yes, and the people just take their health for granted. But when people
exactly.
get sick, they don't want anything. They just want to return their health to be as they were before. Yes, so it
Exactly.
is really, I think, gratitude. Gratitude is important to appreciate the good health which we have and put ourselves first. Yes, put our health first. And with
Absolutely.
healthy, everything else can be done.
Health is your wealth. Absolutely. And attitude and gratitude above everything else.
Yes, thank you so much, Karen. Before we wrap up this episode, would you like maybe to share one advice for people to prevent stress and burnout, something that come from your heart?
Well, one of the things that took me globally was when you change the way you look at things, the way you look at things change. So
Mm,
start looking within because it's really within where the wisdom lies, your wisdom lies.
yes, yes. So many things you already know, as it is not outside of you. Some people think, oh, I need more knowledge, I need more something that outside. But I believe that everyone has so much already, yes, and know so much that if we would implement what we already know, it would be so much ahead from where we are now. Yes, and exactly it is about health. We may hear that it is important to take care of health and your mental health as well as physical health. And
Exactly.
the question is, do you do that? Do you do that?
Yeah,
Or you wait until it will be really necessary to do that? So it is always better to prevent some problems than to solve them when they occur.
exactly. Absolutely. Couldn't have put it better.
Yes, thank you so much, Karen. Yes, it was a great episode,
Oh,
and thank you for sharing, being amazing guest on our podcast.
thank you.